Hey, good morning, class. So this week we're talking about the founding documents, really the foundation of our governmental structure, beginning with the Declaration of Independence. First, we had to declare our independence from the British Empire and say that we are an independent people and we are no longer under the yoke of Great Britain. Next, we had to form our first form of government, which was known as the Articles of Confederation. This was a confederated style of government, very different from the style of government that we have now. There's a very loose association between the 13 colonies, the 13 states that had a weak federal government holding them together. There were a series of reasons that this was not tenable. There was no good interstate commerce, no protection, no military, no way to get rid of their debts, to pay off their debts. So there's all kinds of problems that led to the collapse of the Articles of Confederation, and that happened when the delegates came together to form a convention, which was originally to amend the Articles of Confederation, and they wrote a new constitution. And this is the constitution that we live under today. The writing of the Constitution wasn't enough, though. They had to go out and explain that Constitution. They had to sell it, and they did that through a series of 85 essays that we now know as the Federalist Papers. And it's those Federalist Papers that really explain, that tell us what they meant by the Constitution, what they meant by those words that were written down in those 7 sections of the U.S. Constitution. And then lastly, of course, we have the Bill of Rights, those first 10 changes to the Constitution. Very important, were debated, were part of that final debate for the Constitution in the Constitutional Convention. They said, do we need amendments? Do we need civil liberties included in the Constitution? They were tired, they went home, but that was one of the first things that the first Congress did, was amend the Constitution to bring in this concept of civil liberties into the U.S. Constitution. So those founding documents is where we start the semester. We're going to do a deeper dive into the Constitution next week as we continue to talk about the founding of the country and the founding of the government that we live under. So hope you guys are having a good week. Remember, your discussion board should have been due on Wednesday, your initial posting. If you miss that Wednesday posting, you'll be counted absent, but you can still post and respond to your teammates because you'll get credit. You'll get the grade for it. There's 2 things with the discussion boards. One is get that initial posting in for attendance. That's how I count if you've been with us that week. If you don't do the discussion by Wednesday, you'll be counted absent. And 2 abstinence, I'll have to start thinking about withdrawing you from the course. So make sure to do those by Wednesday, but if you miss, continue to do them on Sunday. And then Friday, today will be Friday, your inquisitive quiz will be due on that first chapter 1. And the inquisitive will be a little bit different than the lecture. We're talking about founding documents in the lecture, and the inquisitive is more about kind of the roots of American culture and American ideals, but they work really well together. And then Sunday, you'll have a homework assignment. This one's super simple. It's just, I want you to memorize these 5 founding documents is ultimately what I'm asking you to do. The Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, the U.S. Constitution, the Federalist Papers, and the Bill of Rights. These 5 founding documents that really created our government. So I want you to memorize your homework assignment. This coming Sunday will be super easy, but make sure to get it in and get it in on time. Hope you guys are having a great week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.